Honey, I gotta get a camera. I gotta stop trapping up iPhones. Okay. Whew. Figuring this out. Okay. Peace, loving about our hair grease, y'all. What is good? It's ShyTheSage returning for another amazing video. What up, though? What it do? I have returned. Happy Halloween. Make sure y'all doing your rituals because the veil is very thin right now. Make sure y'all doing your rituals. Make sure y'all doing any cleansing. Make sure you're doing any type of spiritual work, okay? I'm happy to be back. And I have to kind of force myself to be back, but it is what it is. Okay, so today we're going to talk about extraterrestrials. Okay. Because like I said, moving through the age of Aquarius, like I said, humanity is going through significant changes. Okay, if you are alive in this time, you are witnessing a great transition within humanity, and not many people can say that they can live through this transition. Okay. Yes, Clarkson, pull that Spider-Man out, my boy. Pull it out. Okay. I had this costume, I got my Kal-El on, my Superman or Superwoman, because it is a Superwoman costume. So the costume was inspired by the topic because both Kal-El or Superman and Supergirl are both extraterrestrials. So I thought I would come on here and kind of make a real short video because I got other stuff to do about extraterrestrials, and kind of give humanity a warning about how the government probably gonna spin extraterrestrials, because it's already predicted, and these motherfuckers, they be thinking they be doing something, but they really don't. Okay, so extraterrestrials are coming, or they're already here. Okay, so we can say both. Okay, so I would like to say that extraterrestrials are already here because one, you have a lot of extraterrestrial beings, or they call them star seeds, who do inhabit human vessels. Okay, all the star seeds are basically extraterrestrials with human vessels. Okay, hey y'all, hey. And then two, you also have your typical UFO, CIA, FBI classified extraterrestrials. So you have those, okay? So as we move through the age of Aquarius, as I said, most of us are not going to be alive during that time. So like I said, we're just in the beginning stages. So really our children are going to experience the full precipice of the age of Aquarius, okay? So in the age of Aquarius, you're going to start to see new development in technology. But that also has a light and a dark side, because, Aquarius does rule humanitarian and new ideas. So we're going to see technology that does aid in the growth, in the evolution of humanity. And then we're also going to see technology that may threaten humanity, or that may enable their addiction. So for example, as we move to the age of Aquarius, we're probably going to get more developed in health technology, okay? But we also eventually might get, robotic sex toys where humans are having sex with robots. That's going to be a thing, okay? Or humans are going to have AI programming to be their partners, okay? So, like I said, it's going to be a long time before we see this, but this is our future. So we're going to see a lot of technological advancements. And also, the age of Aquarius also does deal with new information, okay? True information, meaning it doesn't matter how you feel about it, the truth is the truth, okay? So in that truth comes the exploration or the revealing of extraterrestrials, okay? So extraterrestrials have been around for millions and millions of years. They've been visiting this planet for millions of years. Now, a lot of people ask, well, why don't extraterrestrials contact us, or haven't been contacting us for the last, why haven't they been integrated in our society? like that? It's because extraterrestrials or aliens are very advanced high vibrational beings. These are 8th, 10th, 12th dimensional beings, okay? And due to, you know, the you could say the Illuminati, you could call them that, or the one percenters. Okay, so the one percenters put systems in place to enslave humanity, to give them resources. Okay, and in doing that, that has lowered the vibration of human beings. Okay, because right now human beings are really just cattle. Okay, for the Illuminati, for the elites. I be explaining this. So most humans do not have that intellectual capacity to interact with extraterrestrial beings. Okay, because if an extraterrestrial one was to reveal itself, most humans will be scared shitless. Okay, even in the Bible, it's kind of similar to in the Bible because the angels are in a way extraterrestrials. So in the Bible, when an angel is revealing itself, it always gives the "do not be afraid" speech. Okay, because when you reveal yourself as an extraterrestrial, you may have 4 legs. I mean, you may have 2 arms, 2 legs, but you don't look like a humanoid. You don't look like the typical human. Although extraterrestrials are humanoid beings, okay, they're humanoid looking beings, but they're not human. Okay, so a lot of extraterrestrials don't reveal themselves because most humans are stupid. Okay, bottom line, most humans are stupid and incapable of processing seeing a being that looks like that and also conversing with a being that looks like that. Okay, so that's why aliens don't reveal themselves. Okay, now as we move through the age of Aquarius, there are a lot of things revealing themselves. Okay, the sun is rotating through the constellation of Aquarius, and wherever the sun go, we go. Okay, so all those photons because the Aquarius is a constellation. Okay, a constellation is a group full of stars or suns that come together and make an energetic pattern, and those energetic pattern gives off a certain energy signature. So as our sun is moving through the Aquarius constellation, we're getting hit with different photons, and it's electrifying the planet's magnetic field, and anything that affects the planet's electromagnetic field affects the beings on this planet, and humans are not excluded from that. Okay, so as we move to the age of Aquarius, we're going to see a lot of truth is going to be revealed. That's really the whole thing. From the age of Pisces, I've been telling this. Age of Pisces is more everything under the surface, illusions, elusiveness. You can get away with elusiveness in the age of Pisces, but in the age of Aquarius, information, truth, fact, regardless of how you feel about it, because that's the archetype of Aquarius. Well, one of the archetypes of Aquarius. Okay. So, extraterrestrials, like I said, are already here. They showed you that in Men in Black. Some are skinwalkers, shapeshifters. Some are actually born humans and just have the souls of certain extraterrestrials. And others come from other dimensions to visit the planet, to either do research, to either gather resources, or they're either working with the government. Okay. So, I know that was a lot to take in. So, you really got to think what kind of extraterrestrials exist, okay? Because most extraterrestrials come from different constellations in our solar system, okay? So, the main ones that visited that are documented are the Greys, okay? The Greys are your typical alien, the green man with the big eyes. Okay, those are called the Greys. Okay, and they all are different species of extraterrestrials, and they all have their different energetic signature and different motives. Okay, you have the Greys, you have the Pleiadians, you have the Lyrians, you have the Anunnaki, who is responsible for creating Homo sapiens. Okay, You have the reptilians, and you have the Syrians. Okay, so those are the extraterrestrials I can come off my head right now. So you have the Greys, Anunnaki, Lyrians, Pleiadians, the Syrians, and the, did I say Lyrians already? I think I did. And the reptilians. Okay. So those are your extraterrestrials. I'm laughing because it's just like I'm learning how to be authentic when I say this, because you know a lot of people don't talk about this and don't talk about it the way I do. So I'm trying to find a way to not laugh about it, and because yeah, I have my own thing going on in my head. Okay, now these different extraterrestrial races have their different purposes. Okay, like I said, we don't see these beings in real time because over the last couple thousand years, humanity has been dumbed down. And if you in the conscious community, if you into this conscious shit, it's hard to, like, you understand, it's hard to talk to somebody who isn't conscious. It's hard to talk to somebody who isn't, you know, aware of the things that are outside of mainstream media and typical social norms. Okay. Now, eventually, okay, the government is eventually going to, okay, so eventually it's going to come to a point in time where the extraterrestrial presence can no longer be denied, okay? And it's going to come to a point in time where the government is going to try to paint the extraterrestrials as beings who want to come and destroy the planet and take over the planet. That's a bunch of horseshit, okay? Because one, if they wanted to, they already would have done it by now, okay? Two, okay, don't let Hollywood and movies like Independence Day and movies like Battleship, don't let that fuck with your mind to think that if human beings were to go to war with extraterrestrials, that human beings would win. You have to understand these are beings who existed prior to the human race, okay? Mind you, the Homo sapiens, because you know humans used to be Homo erectus. Then the Anunnaki came, and they upgraded and integrated their DNA into to make Homo sapiens. Okay, so the current Homo sapiens, or the current humans, used to be Homo erectus. This is why you cannot find the current ancestors between Homo erectus and Homo sapiens, because it was extraterrestrial interference that did that. Okay, now the Anunnaki, y'all know, is supposed to be responsible for the black race. Everybody and their mama know that the first humans on this planet were melanated Africanoid people. Okay, because the Anunnaki made Homo sapiens in their image to actually mine gold for them, which is fucked up. It's fucked up, but it is the truth, okay? So that's why Homo sapiens was created, because the Anunnaki needed resources from this planet, and they upgraded Homo erectus to Homo sapiens to do it, all right? So back to what I was saying, the government is eventually going to make the world seem like extraterrestrials are an enemy. But like I said, these are very old beings, and if they wanted to take over the planet and destroy it, they would have been did that. But extraterrestrials know that there is a balance on this planet, and compared to them, they view us like children. So it's like they have no need to come and invade this planet and enslave the human race and threaten homeland security, because bitch, I could have already did it, and we already been in this planet, and they're not that impressed. Okay, so eventually it's going to come a time where the government is going to try to make a false alien invasion to make it seem like extraterrestrials are the enemies. And even if they was the enemies, baby, like I said, their technology is so advanced, it's not fucking with it. Like Earth is not fucking with extraterrestrial technology. Like you even see that in Predators. So in the recent ones where in the last Predator that they made, they had a laboratory and they had a collection of the Predator technology. And the main character, the guy, I'm talking about the one that was made in like, what was that, 2014, 2015? The most recent Predator that they made, where they had to go in the woods and another Predator was made, and they had to have the low grade predators help defeat the high grade predators who was a mutated gene and shit. So even in that movie, the main character, when he was introduced to that laboratory, you know, he made a note saying that, he made a comment saying like, wow, like this technology is very advanced. And then the people in the laboratory was explaining to him like, we've been studying these creatures for a while now, okay, and we are very aware of their technology. So don't let Hollywood gas y'all up and think that we win in any type of war against extraterrestrials, okay? Because it's not gonna happen. Now, because that's what Hollywood do. And then on top of that, a lot of people put too much trust in their government. But like, if an alien invasion was to happen, it don't matter if the U.S. government and China squash its beef, nigga, it's over. Okay, it's over. But they view us in such a primitive way, they don't feel the need to do that. Like, because if they wanted to, they would do it at any moment. But that's not a desire that they have. Okay? So I'm just warning everybody. Okay? In the upcoming years, that's what the government is going to try to do. Now, the government does work with extraterrestrials because, and Young Pharaoh did make this point, and I do appreciate about this. So, when you think about it, who is in charge of the world governments and the banks? It's Europeans, okay? Now, mind you, Europeans are only 6,000 years old, okay? White Caucasians, okay, I'll call them sulfur-based beings, okay? Sulfur-based beings have only existed for about maybe 6,500 years, okay? So they're fairly new to the planet compared to carbon-based beings or the melanin Africanoid human. Okay. So Young Pharaoh stated that it's like, how can a race of people who is just new to the planet just conquer the world like this? It's because they're in a contract. And I know this shit sounds crazy. I know. But you gotta understand, I keep telling y'all, the people who run this world run it by magic. They do it by magic. It's magic. I'm telling you. That's how they so powerful. Okay? So he stated that how can the people who are only 6,000 years old conquer the world like this? It's because they made an alliance with extraterrestrials. They say it's the Dracos, the Draconians, okay, who are a reptile-based species. Okay, so the rumor is that the reptilians and the Europeans made a pact. Okay, so what the reptilians ask from the Europeans is usually I don't want to say blood sacrifices because that sounds so cliche, but they need to feast on human blood. Okay, so they're not only I feel like they're giving them something else too, not just humans. They're giving them something else in return. Okay, and in return, the reptilians tell the Europeans, so these are your Knights Templar niggas, your Illuminati niggas. Yeah, the Masons, not really. Like, it depends on what branch of masonry. I'm not talking about you drive down the street in your regular Mason lodge. Them niggas ain't doing nothing. I'm talking about the lodge that's in the back of the White House type niggas. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so in exchange for the consumption of humans, the draconians or the reptilians, they give the Europeans information and teach European universal law about how to enslave humans to do their bidding so they can have their heaven on earth. Okay. That's that. That's how white people did it. White people did it through the help of extraterrestrials. Now, everything has its time. Everything has an expiration date. So we're realizing, I think we're in a realization period where the Earth's frequency is getting high enough to the point that shit's not gonna work no more, because Earth is the last planet to evolve. All the other planets at least got some type of upgrade so it can vibrate a little higher, but Earth has been the slowest because humans have been enslaved by their governments. Okay, so what they're gonna do with that contract, I'm not really sure. I'm just giving y'all the information right now. Okay, so we already know that the FBI, CIA are very aware of extraterrestrials. Okay, to even the point where some of those extraterrestrials, some grays and a handful of reptilians or draconians, they taught, they're teaching, and they have already taught governments how to build their UFOs. Okay, in the book of Behold a Pale Horse by, I think it's not Norman Brigham. What's the other white boy's name? In the book, I forgot that. What's the author's name? I forgot the author's name. But I highly recommend go giving that book. I had that book, but I gave it to my white homeboy because I was trying to put him on some shit. But in that book, he explained that the government is already knowing. We already know that the government is aware of extraterrestrials. Now, and then even to the point where they even know how to build their own UFOs. And it's no secret either that the government, especially the American government, has underground military bases, especially in the desert area over there in the West Coast. So over there between California and maybe Texas, New Mexico area, it's a lot of underground bases in there. And you know, the most famous one is Area 51. Okay, that shit is very real. Cause even when you notice it, like I fly, like when I fly from Atlanta to San Diego, and when you look out the window, it's nothing but desert. Nothing. It's like, it's so vast and so big. It's like I felt it like it's something underneath there. These motherfuckers got some shit going on underneath there. Because it's the truth. It's the truth. They do. So all around America, the American government does have a lot of underground bases. And some of these underground bases, they do tests, they build their own UFOs, and they even perform experiments on other extraterrestrials. Okay, now, like, this comes back to where I was saying how eventually the government is going to try to stage another false flag, because that's what they do when they want to incite a war. They do a false flag type shit. So with them already knowing how to build UFOs, it's very easy for them to stage an alien invasion. But I'm telling y'all now, all y'all who watching this, that is not it. So eventually it might be 5 years from now. It might be 10 years from now. It might be 20 years from now. It might be 30 years from now. Eventually, these motherfuckers is trying to make it seem like aliens is attacking us, and that's not true. And I don't want y'all to fucking get caught up in that shit. Okay? Because motherfuckers is already here. Okay? Now, like I said, a lot of people don't like to come to this planet. A lot of extraterrestrials do not like coming to this planet. The only time that they do come is to accumulate resources or do research. Hence why you have your documentaries with white people saying, yeah, I was abducted by aliens. 9 times out of 10, those are the grays. Okay? Because the grays are the grays, I would say, are like the nerds. They're like the scientists of the extraterrestrial races in the Milky Way, because there are other extraterrestrials in our neighboring galaxy, Andromeda, but we haven't developed that technology to actually explore that. Okay, so all these races of extraterrestrials I'm speaking of are only the extraterrestrials within the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So when you hear them stories about the white, and it's usually white people who get abducted by aliens because, like I said, carbon based. I don't want YouTube to flag me. Sulfur based beings, aka Caucasians, are new to the planet. Okay, they're only 6,000 years old. So the Greys and the Lyrians and shit, they know niggas been here. They already know. Like, yeah, been there, done that. Okay, we see y'all. Okay, we seen y'all 500,000 years ago. Ain't nothing changed. So they end up abducting the white people the most because the white people are new to the planet and they want to, they sometimes they cut them open and do little shit with their technology to scan their brain and shit, and it gets pretty crazy. So that's why you only hear stories about white people get abducted, because they're new to the planet. They already know that niggas been here. Okay, so I just really wanted y'all to be informed of that. Like I said, I wouldn't say like, oh, extraterrestrials are our friends. They like, we cohabitate with them, just how in the wild, like say I love the African savannah when I'm studying nature. Like, for example, how in the wild hippos and crocodiles can exist as long as they maintain their boundaries, everything's smooth. So it's kind of like that with extraterrestrials in humans. Like I said, they don't really come around because most humans are stupid, and if they were to reveal themselves, most humans would be freaked out and probably pass out or maybe even kill themselves, because it's even to a point where if I'm gonna do ghosts or spirits, if a spirit haunts a place so hard and somebody is not affluent in the cult studies, they can really kill themselves. Like if an entity really showed itself, like start moving shit and making everything in your house suck and fly, and you're not prepared and your brain can't comprehend what this is, you'll probably kill yourself. It's that serious. So it's like they can't really reveal themselves, because if they reveal themselves to the average human cannot process. They can't process that. They can't process seeing a being like that. Most humans are not prepared to have an experience like that. So they hide away, or some of them talk to the government or members of the government who are affluent in that. Or if you are vibrating high enough, you can have an extraterrestrial experience, because they do watch. Because I know they be watching me, because I have a lot of stories. Not a lot. I got a few stories of extraterrestrial contact. I don't tell a lot of people because a lot of people think I'm crazy, and that's fine, because motherfuckers gonna find out eventually. But I met a draconian when I was in boot camp, and I've had UFOs follow me while I was in the car with my friends, and I told them that, and that was a very weird experience. And the thing about, and how I know it was a UFO, is the design between UFOs and regular human aircrafts like planes and helicopters. Like UFOs can hover and they can go back and forth like this. Okay, airplanes can only do this because airplanes are only propelling themselves forward. Now you do have helicopters. Now helicopters can hover, but they can't, and they can hover and they can kind of go back and forth, but at a cost. The speed is slowed down. Okay, now with the UFOs lock on to a target. They lock onto a target or to a destination, and it's like when they lock onto that, the ship follows. That's why it can go up, down, vertical, this way, up, down. Helicopters can only hover this way and back and forth. But UFOs can have more mobility. Let me say that. Okay. What else? I'm trying to think what else I can say about UFOs. I think that's it, honey. That's really all I wanted to say. Extraterrestrials or aliens, they not nothing to be scared of, child. Like I said, they've been here. If y'all seen Men in Black, okay, Men in Black tell you just like it is. Like, if you really pay attention, like when Will Smith, you know, when he was really standing in the middle of the street and when he was really paying attention, he saw, like, even though these look like humans, they're extraterrestrials. Okay, and you never know. You'll never know. You never know who you can be talking to. Okay, because in boot camp, I befriended this little white girl who was a fucking, she was a reptilian. And then reptilians do get a bad rep of being, you know, bloodthirsty, manipulative, conniving to get their way. But not all of them are like that, okay? A good handful are. But not all of them are like that, okay? And she was one of those people that I met. I don't like to talk about that experience a lot, but she was real cool, and I low-key still talk to her. And I remember how I knew she was an extraterrestrial, bro. Two things she would say. She told me one time, she was like, maybe if we, she said one thing that blew my mind, how I knew this bitch was this bitch ain't human. She said, one day, if we're close enough, I'll tell you my real name. And I'm like, bitch, what the fuck you mean tell you your real name? Like, okay, like, all right. And then it was another time when we were in, you can say it was the Navy store on boot camp. And bro, I saw her eyes change, bro. Like, I ain't saying that. And then I looked her in the eyes and then she looked away. Like, I saw her eyes shift. Like, I saw her, like, it threw me up. And that's how I knew. I'm like, oh shit. This bitch is draconian. I never, and like I said, I think she still follow me on Instagram. We talk every once in a blue moon or whatever. But it's like, I was never comfortable enough to ask her, like, you know, and I think she was from like fucking a random ass, her hometown was like fucking Kansas or Missouri, some random ass place. But she was a regular girl. Like, now she identifies herself as a trans man. She's a trans man now. But she was a regular girl. Regular. Like, but her energy and the things that she liked to talk about was different. And, you know, I'm a weirdo. So naturally, I'm going to link up with the other weirdos. You know, I've always been like that. I link up with the weirdos and the weird white kids and shit. And, you know, that's just how I always rolled. But yeah, I saw that bitch eyes change, but I never addressed it to her, because how do you have a conversation like that? You know, you and seriously, how do you have a conversation like that? So, yeah, like I said, they're here. They are here, and they just call existing, and they go back to their neighboring planets. Some do have physical bodies, and others do not have physical bodies. So you also have to be aware of that too. Okay, not all extraterrestrials have physical bodies. And I'm really starting to believe that. I don't really think that you can leave this planet for real. Like, you know how they say, like, oh, we flew to the moon. Well, I be thinking about that every day, because now NASA, for the past 15 years, now NASA is claiming that, oh, we can't go back to the moon. Like, why the fuck not? Why you can't go back to the moon? When did they go to the moon? Like, in the 70s or some shit like that? Like, with Neil Armstrong and them niggas? That's what, like, I'm kind of piecing everything together as I learn. Like, how could you go back to the moon, back in the 50s, what was it, the 60s or the 70s? And human technology has progressed and developed since then, especially with the Asians, okay? The Koreans, the Chinese, and the Japanese, them niggas is the head of the game when it comes to technology. That's why America be shaking in their boots every time something about China is mentioned, or China doing some big shit, because they're more advanced in technology when it comes compared to America. Okay, America got its little, and that's what I be saying. if World War III come, baby, America's not winning. And as somebody who was in the military, let me tell you, the people who you relying on defending you, they are not reliable. These are some. I was in boot camp with the most wimpiest, dumbest motherfuckers ever, and these motherfuckers signed up to defend the country against other foreign invaders. These motherfuckers ain't prepared to go to war for real, for real. So, and then on top of that, including with in conjunction with in conjunction with Asian technology and shit, baby, America don't stand a chance. And if America do win, it's just gonna be on the skin of the skin of their teeth. They just gonna barely win. So this is why motherfuckers so hesitant to go to World War III. China and Russia, oh, they itching for World War III because they already know. China like, listen, America, you owe us trillions of dollars. We come in to take that shit black and blood. And then whatever China do, Russia gonna be on, because Russia been have beef with America, been have like a little, you know what I'm saying? They've been itching since the 50s with the Cold War, even though the Cold War wasn't a real war still, you know. So, I'm letting you know, baby, if you hear anything about World War III, America ain't winning, honey. I'm letting you know that. And somebody who is a former veteran, baby, motherfuckers don't stand a chance. These motherfuckers over here. So, I think that's it in terms of extraterrestrials, man. They're here. They're among us. Okay, like I say, you never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're conversing with. Because I can say I definitely did I met a draconian, and I was her friend. You know, so that kind of made me realize not all draconians are bad. Just like humans. Not all humans are bad. Not all humans are greedy, bloodthirsty, manipulative, money hungry fools. Okay. So I'm reading y'all comments to see what y'all gotta say. Yeah, it's indeed already wartime. Yeah, and like I said, most of the time the war now is spiritual. That's why I'm saying, like, if you understand what I'm saying, people like us are being targeted. That's why it's very imperative that you raise your vibration, because, like I said, even though we see things in the third dimensional world, there are things going on in the 5-dimensional world that we do not see. Now, some people are more adept, are more intuitive when it comes to the 5D compared to the 3D. I'm more intuitive when it comes to the 3D, not the 5D. Okay, so, and it's extraterrestrial and it's beings who work for the government, because like I said, these motherfuckers do be summoning shit. They be knowing what the fuck they doing. Okay, so now that the contract, I don't want to say the contract is up between America, but I don't. Okay. So the magic that the government or the Illuminati has been using against the world, it's kind of losing its power, because the Earth's electromagnetic field is starting to vibrate higher. Okay, and what does physics say? Physics says that in order to maintain something, you either have to be on the same vibration as it, or if one thing is vibrating higher than another thing, the thing that's vibrating lower is going to be knocked out. That's just basic physics. That's like when you know you're conscious, you vibrate a little bit higher, and then you go around your family members. It's a little bit harder to either they're gonna remove themselves or you're gonna remove themselves. Okay, that's just physics. So that's why a lot of the magic the Illuminati is using isn't working anymore, because the Earth is vibrating a little bit higher due to the sun moving through the age of Aquarius. And the Aquarian constellation, the photons from the Aquarian constellation is electrifying the magnetic field. Okay, therefore the beings are vibrating higher. Okay, so That's it, yeah. So that's why Bobby Hemmett be saying, oh, this shit is over, because the magic that they using is outdated. And in order for you to vibrate higher, you need to vibrate at the frequency of love. Okay. Not, like I said, it's not a love everybody, give to everybody, kiss everybody type of love. But it's from the space of compassion and understanding, because you can still be in the you can be in the space of compassion and understanding and still do dark magic. Okay? And maybe I'll teach y'all how to do that. Maybe not. Who knows? But it is what it is. So their contract is up. I think the reptilians are going to probably go, because the reptilians, they have been feeding off the humans for a while. Like I said, not all reptilians, but it's a group of reptilians from the Draco constellation that come down here who has made an alliance with the Illuminati. Okay, we call them the Illuminati. Okay, but if this is why you need to get on your magic, okay, because there's a hierarchy. So all certain entities, certain beings outrank the Illuminati. Okay, the Illuminati, people keep giving these motherfuckers credit. Like I said, like they're not as strong as y'all think they are. Like there are beings, and most of them are extraterrestrial. There are beings who outrank the Illuminati. That's why some magic don't work. That's why if you work with certain entities, you're protected, because the Matrix is Illuminati magic. Sports is Illuminati magic. The news is Illuminati magic. But if you vibrate high enough, that shit ain't gonna affect you. So people be scared of the Illuminati. Fuck them niggas. Especially if you fucking if you're Africanoid, if you have African descent, there are things in your bloodline, like you predate these motherfuckers. Stop being scared of these people. Okay. All the people on the street looking up, it was Black Spice all over it. Damn, that's what's up. I need to do another mushroom trip. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, humans have been zombified for a long, long time. Okay. But that's because of the spell work that they've been doing. Now, when all this information does come to pass, a lot of humans are gonna struggle with this, because one, a lot of humans don't have souls. A lot of humans are just walking meat that's just running on electricity. Okay, so I do be concerned with that, like what's going to be the people who are still stuck in the age of Pisces, what's going to come out of them, because they're having a hard time transitioning. But like I said, we are indeed transitioning. That's why all that shit going on in Israel and Palestine. I'm gonna be real. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm gonna keep it a B with you. I don't care about none of that. Okay, because in order for things to be restored to balance, some things have to be destroyed. Okay, sometimes. And this coming from an Aries, somebody with Aries placements. Okay, this is the Aries Libra constellation. Sometimes, in order to get peace, you gotta go to war. Sometimes, in order for things to get balanced, Libra, you gotta go to war. Aries. Okay, so that's why I don't give a fuck about them. You can get them people they land back, but we already know, like, baby, that ain't they land. The land that was over there, they was niggas. Okay, so it's just like two people fighting over land. Now, maybe the Palestinians, maybe they are more closely related to those who have African descent. So maybe their ancestry is a little bit closer to African descent, but maybe my concern is the melanated person, because the melanated person is the natural inhabitants of the planet. So whatever we do collectively, the planet and the other humanoids follow. So that I don't be giving a fuck about that shit. I really don't. Like, I've been sleeping like a motherfucking baby. And then I've been understanding too, like, in order for things to be balanced, you got to go to war. Period. Like, so now, especially with Pluto moving through Aquarius, now you really got to understand, like, throughout, for years, when you hear conscious teachers, we've been talking about change. We've been talking about down with the matrix. We've been talking, and all of that comes with social reform. But in order to have social reform, the old systems have to go. Okay, and sometimes when the old, so now we're experiencing the destruction of those old systems, and it's not going to be pretty. Like I said, you got to go to war to obtain balance and peace. Sometimes you got to destroy some shit. If you want to build a new house, you got to destroy the old one, and it's not going to be pretty, and it's going to hurt, but at the end of the day, it needs to go so some new shit can roll up in. Okay. Yes, you need to focus on things that you can't control, like your vibration. Okay, because I don't think y'all really understand the power it means to be conscious. Like, when you're conscious, when you're learning this information, when you actually make the commitment to a spiritual path, okay, I want to be more aligned, I want to be better, I actually want to follow universal law on this planet, we create a shield over the earth, because we are actually protecting the earth, because the earth is like, okay, it might be a lot of humans that's fucking the shit up, but at least I have to protect these humans. So y'all need to really understand that being conscious, meaning that you're aiding the earth in just not wiping out humanity. Like, because at any point in time, I keep telling y'all, humans be so fucking arrogant. Earth don't need humans. Humans need the earth. Okay? You know how many wipeouts the earth done had? You know how many times earth done wiped out humanity effortlessly? And then humanity then built itself back up? You feel what I'm saying? Like, so just know, just find value in that. Find value in the fact that, hey, I'm conscious. Hey, I know information. Hey, I'm studying occultism. Hey, I'm actually making an effort to better myself and raise my vibration. You're actually doing the earth a favor, because the earth is going to be looking at you like, okay, all right, so you're giving me a reason not to wipe this bitch out, pretty much. Now, let's say every single person on the planet was low vibrational. Everybody, there wasn't no gurus, there wasn't nobody committed to a spiritual path. Earth would be like, all right, send in the avalanches, all right, send in the hurricanes, okay, shift the magnetic poles, okay, shift the magnetic poles so Atlanta can be by Antarctica, and because that does happen, you know, and that has happened. The Earth's poles have shifted a couple of times, and honestly, in this new era, the Earth poles is shifting right now too. So, but because you are a human who actually understands the earth, it's like the earth is a mom, because the earth is feminine. So if like, the best way that you can give through earth is by taking care of it. Better yourself, raise your vibration, be considerate. And I ain't asking you ain't gotta be no monk, but if you see litter on the floor or on the ground, pick it up. If you see a pigeon or you see a bird, if you see an animal struggling, help that animal. That's how you can give to the planet, okay? Like, if you see it's trash in the lake, get the trash out the lake, okay? That's how you help the planet, okay? So that's just it, okay? So like I said, don't get distracted by all this stuff that's going on in the world, baby. This is just the destruction before the order, okay? Because we're going, the world is changing. It's changing. And like I said, in order for new to come, sometimes in order to get order, you need chaos. Okay? The chaos comes before the order. And it's gonna look bad, and it's gonna look like, oh, what do we do? This is so horrible. This is so terrible. But everything balances out. All right. So That's it, y'all. Unless y'all got some questions. I hope I explained everything, okay? If y'all got other questions about and then some of y'all too who be on the channel, some of y'all are probably Syrians. Like I said, a lot of black people and African descendants are from Syria. Now I am not a Syrian. Okay, I can't tell you where I am. I can't tell you where I'm from, but a lot of melanated people are from the constellation of Sirius. Like, oh, I did met another, but he didn't know he had extraterrestrial origins. I had a friend who was Nigerian when I was in the Navy. He was a Syrian starseed. Did he know that? No. Who else do I know? Extra. I'm not gonna call him a twin flame, but we got like a weird connection. I call him Mr. Scorpio. If you've been following my page, you know I be talking about Mr. I used to talk about Mr. Scorpio a lot because that's my baby. But he ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing, so fuck. Mr. Scorpio, he's a draconian. That's why sometimes I don't know if I can trust that nigga or not. You know, because sometimes he has this side to him where he real sweet. But then this is other side that I just don't trust. And then I have to realize, like, and he's really charming. He's very magnetic. He like me. Very magnetic, very attractive. Probably the sexiest man I ever met in my life. But he's a draconian. Does he know he's a draconian? No. But I observe him. And I'm like, yeah, nigga, that's that shit. I be like, that's that shit that you be on. You be on that other shit because he's a draconian, okay? I follow this one girl who's a Lyrian, okay? Oh, and even if you watch another example, how you can kind of see how the government been knowing about extraterrestrials and the different races, look at Thundercats. Thundercats, if y'all real old school, Thundercats was a TV show back in the 80s. Thundercats represent the constant war or a war between the Lyrians, who are the Thundercats, and the Reptilians. So you see the green villains that the Thundercats be fighting, those are a representation of the reptilian race. And then here go the Lyrians, okay? That you didn't know that, did you? So they've been here and they've been telling y'all. They've been telling y'all we just gotta pay attention. Pay attention. So if you want to know a little bit, watch the Thundercats, honey. That'll tell you. Those are the Lyrians versus the Reptilians. How do you start your spiritual journey after being disconnected so long? Okay. Find some. I always tell people, okay, so even if you gotta start at zero, that's okay. Sometimes you get knocked off your path because we entertain earthly bullshit. Even though Earth is hard and it sucks sometimes, Earth is fun. You feel what I'm saying? You got hoes, you got money, you got vacations. You know, Earth is you got drugs. Earth is fun. So sometimes you do get a little bit caught. So if you want to restart your spiritual journey, go back to, I always tell people, what are you most interested in? Start there. Like I always say, my interest was astrology. Okay. And it's like, use that to get you back to where you want to be. Or at any moment, you can just be like, okay, I want to do better. It's like the universe changes when you change. Like I don't think like the universe is not like a human entity like how Christians pay. Even when Christians do pay their God, don't Christians be like, it don't matter how long you've been away from God, God is still gonna love you and receive you with open arms. It's the same thing with the spiritual shit. Spirit or whoever, your higher self or whatever the fuck, they don't give a fuck. They understand. Like I said, most motherfuckers, that's why motherfuckers don't come down to here. Most higher beings understand how it is on Earth. Okay. But the fact that you even want to redirect yourself to get back on your spiritual journey, just do it. Hey, I'm gonna do some different shit today. Hey, I want to do some candle magic today. Hey, I want to learn about healing the subconscious today. Hey, I want to listen to some sounds that'll heal my sacral chakra. Like, the spiritual journey is just a journey towards the self. So don't think like, yeah, the spirit, just get back to yourself. I think you asked me that, like, you might have asked me that question because, are you judging yourself? Like, don't judge yourself for slacking off. You feel me? Don't judge yourself for vibrating low. I think you might be asking that question to think an entity or somebody judging you. No, you're just judging yourself. At any moment, you can change. And whatever, like, literally, it's no... Because usually humans, we get in our own way by thinking some shit that ain't even there. The universe changes when we change. When we be like, okay, spirit, I feel like I deserve this. Spirit be like, yes, you do. But if you vibrate in a mental space like, I don't know if I deserve this, this is too good for me, and then you start self-sabotaging, spirit gonna be like, well, I guess you don't deserve it. So I feel like, don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself. Because judging yourself is not gonna make the situation better. Because I used to do that. But at any point in time, you can always go back. Okay? How do you know? Okay, so how do you know where you are from? You talking about an extraterrestrial roots? Okay, so you can do, because there's a lot of information out here. Like I said, we're in the age of information, but you got to be careful because all information ain't good information. So you're going to have to, one, build a relationship with yourself when you know how to filter out bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like the relationship with myself, I know when my intuition's speaking based on how I feel in my body. Now, I cannot physically describe what that feels like in my body because this is my body. So you have to develop a system for yourself, or you have to develop a special kind of relationship with yourself to allow you to be able to decipher, is this information discerning or is it not discerning? Now, to figure out, it's like, in my world, I get signs. Like, I be on TikTok a lot. And so spirit is going to meet you where you are. Okay, so spirit knows if I want to get this child a message, I know this child be on TikTok a lot. So I'm gonna encourage this person to get a message because I know this child is gonna see it. Okay, so TikTok, that's how I do it. And any other thing that you're involved in, I don't know, the message will come. I don't know, because I know I'm not from the Milky Way. I'm from Andromeda. Now, because we don't know too much about Andromeda, they just call us Andromedans. Okay, and I already know how there's multiple races of extraterrestrials in the Milky Way. There are multiple races in the Andromeda constellation, but because we're kind of far away and there's limited information on that, they just group us in Andromedans. Okay, so when you go and listen to these people, like, okay, signs of Syrians, okay, look at certain characteristics, and then it's like here comes the relationship with yourself again. You will feel that in your body. I cannot explain it. I can't put it into words. But me, we so locked in like that. I know when some shit is bullshit, and I know when some shit ain't no bullshit. And then it's like when I start to hear certain information, it starts to process, not just mentally, but on all levels. I'll be like, damn. So this is why I do this. Like, my brain is weird. Like, this is why I do this and this and this, and this is why I do this. So if you want to know where you're from, you can look at other people. Okay, signs that you're a Syrian, signs that you're from the Lyrian constellation. Like, it's so much information out here. Signs that you're from, you can start there. Okay, and see which one resonate for you. Now, some of them do have similarities amongst each other, but you will know. You will know. You will know. Because I know too, I have some Palladian I got some Palladian energy going on, but I'm also dark too. Like when I hear Palladians, like I think Palladians, they're really smart, they're really kind, but I'm also kind of dark too. So it's just like that didn't really resonate for me. You feel me? Like, okay, I can relate to some of this. Okay, I can see how, because you know the Palladians live in the constellation of Taurus. Okay, that's what they're from. So it's like, okay, I was listening to all the stuff that they were talking about, but I wasn't really, I all of it didn't fit. Okay, so I had to do more research, and then I ended up stumbling upon the Andromedans. So that's that. How did you even know that I've been judging myself hard? I don't know, girl. It's intuition, honey. Mama, no, sugar. Mama, no. Okay. So yeah, don't be judging yourself on your spiritual journey, honey. Ain't no, cause like I said, ain't nobody judging you, but you can wake up. This is why this is why sometimes being a Gemini, cause each person born out of a constellation has a message to give to the planet. So sometimes I can see why I was born under the constellation of Gemini, because Gemini, we can change like that. Okay. But because so the lower level information is, oh, Gemini's two-faced. No. The higher level of Gemini is to let you know that life is not black and white. Okay. At any moment you can change. Now when you decide to make that change, you are going to have spirit or the universe or God, Allah backing you. Like I said, you are the main character. And spirit is your supporter. Okay, so if I wake up and if I wake up and stay on one vibration, spirit is going to make sure that, okay, things around me align with that vibration. It may take a little bit long, because like I said, the third dimensional density, things happen slow. It's like a chain reaction. One person has to do this, and this has to go through this, and then there's other factors in the world, so that takes a little bit long time. But whatever you decide, like when you decide to wake up and change, and wake up and say, I'm going to do this, it's like spirit is like, okay, if you woke up today was like, okay, I'm gonna quit my job and become a crackhead, spirit gonna be like, okay. Like spirit is literally a neutralize, it's an electron. God, the feminine, because spirit is the feminine, God is an electron. Okay, it's neutral. So whatever, and you are the proton. If you say, okay, I'm gonna do this, spirit, okay, spirit gonna be like, okay, spirit, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Spirit gonna be like, okay, hey spirit, I think I'm gonna have 5 kids and live on welfare, because that's what I feel like I deserve. Spirit gonna be like, okay. So spirit follows whatever you say you're going to do. Okay, and that's all. I think sometimes the human ego make it so complicated, because we thinking other people judging us, and then I have to learn that too. I have to heal that in myself too. I have a judgment wound. Okay, I have a judgment wound, and that judgment wound comes from childhood, because when I was expressing myself, because I'm a star seed born in the hood, baby. So you can only imagine the judgment I went through. I'm a fucking extraterrestrial in the middle of the hood on the east side of Detroit. Yeah, you're gonna be judged, because your ideals. It's like putting the sun smack dab in the middle of Connecticut. Those things don't really align. So I had a judgment wound due to my childhood and trying to express my individuality. But eventually I have to realize too, like a lot of, like, I would assume people, or I would judgment comes from judgment within the self. Okay. And sometimes, as within, as without, as a result, we think other people are judging us too. But in reality, most people are not judging you, because most people are only worried about themselves. So then you create this whole reality and this whole world where not only are you judging yourself, you're judging other people. And then that becomes a little messy, and that becomes a little sticky. So you want to be careful when it comes to that. Okay? Yes, we are our own audience, and we are our own critics. Okay, that's why they say the mind It's everything. And I'm realizing that the mind is so powerful. The mind can either be your heaven or it can be your hell. I'm telling you. And I know, and as humans, the ego get in the way and be like, well, how can the mind be all when I got bills to pay? And how can the mind be all when I still gotta show up for work tomorrow? Well, how can the mind be all? I'm telling you. I think we make shit more complicated than what it already is. If you can discipline your mind and then have the discipline to stay at that frequency, watch how your reality changes. But I had to learn that. And that's why I kind of fell off on my occult. I feel like I was more proficient in magic when I started my YouTube channel versus now. Because some shit had happened in the military. I think that it fucked up my magic. But I think that was a spell that them niggas did on me. I'm not gonna lie. But then now I'm starting to get it back. So then I really have to realize, like, okay, it's really the discipline of the vibration. Like, if you don't worry about the external circumstances and just focus on the internal circumstances, the external has no choice but to change. You feel me? And I understand that most humans are in survival mode. Most humans are trying to figure out how to pay their bills and how to feed their kids and how to pay for this and pay for that and pay their car note and shit. But I'm telling you, once you get to a certain state where you can just maintain that shit, you'll start to realize how easy this shit is. I'm telling you, but it takes discipline. You can't just be like, okay, listen to Bobby Hemmett one day, yeah, the mind is all, I'm this chaos being, and then the next day, when your light bill come, here you go, being upset about shit. Here you go, and then that's fucking up your vibration. It don't work like that. Then, because you don't have that discipline and that fortitude, you gotta have that fortitude to look past that shit. It's not, you're not in denial. It's like you're looking past it, but you're not allowing it to shake your foundation. And that's why a lot of people don't see change, because they let one thing in the external world fuck with their mind. And then they say, oh, that law of attraction shit don't work. Oh, spirituality don't work. It's because you don't got no discipline. You don't have no discipline. Like, God, this information is not going to come to you. You have to work for it. Magic, God is not going to come to you. You have to come to God. Like, if you want to experience heaven, heaven is not going to come to your level. You have to come to its level. And in order to do that, you have to have discipline. I know it's hard, y'all. I know. But speaking from me, Miss Overthinker, if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? I overthink everything. Okay? Everything. But I had to realize it's about discipline, because a magician, a good occultist has discipline. You can't get nowhere without no motherfucking discipline. Magic, even though it's fun, even though magic can grant you all your desires, you're not going to be an affluent magician until you have discipline. And I used to hate that word. My mama is a Capricorn. I used to hate that word, discipline. I used to hate that shit with a passion. But I realized as I'm getting older and coming to my Saturn return, I'm realizing if you want what you say that you want, if you want to become who you say you want to become, you're going to have discipline. And that includes discipline of the mind, okay? Because everything starts in the mind. Everything. So just because your light bill is high, or just because you got an unexpected expense, and then here you go, making that shit get you mad. Now you back in the lower vibration. Then now you don't want to do the spiritual shit no more. It don't work like that. It's not going to be easy, because if it was easy, everybody would have access to magic. That's why a lot of people are in religion, because religion is easy. You don't have to take accountability for your free will. Somebody else can do it for you. You're feeding another entity. Well, God will take care of it. God will do it. And then the Christian God so fucked up. The Christian God relies on suffering. The Christian God feeds on suffering. If the Christian God, if Serapis did not rely on suffering from its followers, he would lose power. And then the motherfuckers who do figure it out, like your pastors who be driving Rolls Royces and your Crefto Dollar and shit and your Joe Osteens, them the niggas that figured it out. So they become a beacon of light to those who just cannot get out of suffering. So if I'm your beacon of light and I'm telling you, you gotta come through God, you gotta come to me to access God, I can profit off of you, baby. That's game. That's game. So this is why it's a difference between, this is why a lot of people go back to religion, like when they try to get into the occult, because they ain't got no discipline. Because when you become a God, being a God comes with responsibility of free will. When you're in religion, it's easy to give your free will to an entity and let them take care of it. And then when you give your power to an entity free, they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. I know if I was a Christian God, I'd go crazy. Of course. Yes, child. Put your burdens upon me. I'll take care of it in 2 to 3 business days. I mean, not even 2 to 3 business days. 2 to 3 years. Because that nigga gonna make you wait. Okay? That's why the pagan gods, baby, they come through. The exoteric gods, your Islamic God, your Christian God, your Judaism God, they all the same entity, even though they swear they not. I be telling y'all this, like, they all worship the same God. That nigga take forever in the day because he feeds off your suffering. Because if I can make you suffer, you will continue to worship me and put faith in me and keep me alive. The pagan gods, baby, your Sekhmets, your Freyas, your Thors, okay? Them niggas be coming through. Today, cash in your hand. Okay? Okay, so couldn't be me. And then the Christian God would be like, well, if you believe in me so much, I reward you when you die. That's so fucked up. That nigga be like, I want you to devote yourself mentally, spiritually, and physically, and I will reward you. I will give you crumbs. I'll give you a little bit of crumbs just to remind you that it's like an ex-boyfriend. I give you a little bit of crumbs to let you know I care. That's the rapist. That's the Christian God. And then when you die, you can cash out all your chips and come to heaven, which most motherfuckers don't go to. Motherfuckers be going to the light when they die and thinking they going to heaven, baby. You about to get that light, your ass right back in the motherfucking delivery room. And then here you is again, raised a Christian again, believing in God again, suffering again. And then the cycle continues. Boy, that's a mother. That shit's so diabolical. That's a good plan. That's why I can't even hate on the Christian God. The Christian God, that nigga be doing what the fuck he be doing. That's a good plan. Give these niggas crumbs. Give these niggas crumbs. Okay? Hey Lord. That's why most Christians be poor and in bad health. Most Christians accept and then the ones who are actually getting prosperity and living good lives, they practice a little paganism. Like, I'm watching Vikings. It was a show that was on the History Channel. So it's explaining how the Crusaders in the English, because you know the English, they were ahead of the Christian church at one point in time. So you have the Christians, aka the Crusaders, versus the Vikings and the pagans. Okay. Now, even the king who was in charge of Christianity and working alongside the church, he would have his meetings with his other counselors, and he would say, like, he said that even Christians were pagans. So now at the point where I am in the series, the king is now starting to get a little bit deeper into Christianity. This is after the Romans, okay? So, cause you know the Romans, they kept their little secret society, and then eventually, after the Arabs took them over, eventually, I don't know if y'all heard of the Knights Templar, but the Knights Templar is really the foundation of European Christianity, and then the Europeans came over to America, and then that's why Americans are Christian, because of the Europeans. So the king in the series, he started to ask more questions like, okay, you know, in the back of my castle, I got all these paintings and all these Roman texts. I'm trying to decode them, okay, because now he's learning a little bit from the Vikings, aka the pagans. They call them pagans, and it's so crazy. So, baby, I'm telling you, go towards the light if you want to, nigga. You gonna be your ass gonna be right back there in that delivery room, screaming, raised to another Christian family, and then the process started over. And then that's how the Christian God feeds up your soul, puts you in a hamster wheel. It's so fucked up, but it's a good plan. I fuck with that shit. Like, the darker me fucks with that shit. Like, you know what, nigga? Respect. You have my respect. Won't be me though. You won't get me though. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, Christians be acting like, and you know what? I don't know what the future of Christianity is. I say Christianity probably got another, I would give Christianity another couple hundred years. Because I be telling, like, cause how Christians feel about their God, I be telling them there are other groups prior to thousands of years of your God who also felt like their God was the true God. Nigga, like, you're not saying nothing different compared to what other motherfuckers before you were saying. What are you? So it's like, let them be, honey. Now it is some Christians. I do meet some Christians who actually genuinely live through the heart space. Now those Christians are actually practicing light magic and don't realize that they are. Like Joel Osteen and them, and Bishop T.D. Jakes. Bishop T.D. Jakes, and I'm almost certain that these motherfuckers know about pagan magic. You can't tell me no difference. Those leaders are using light magic, okay? Because the light isn't a bad thing, okay? Because the light does protect the earth. It's I can't explain it, y'all. It's a hierarchy. Like, there is a masculine, and then they put that shit in Diablo 4. I've been playing Diablo 4. They put that, if y'all want to play that motherfucking game, Diablo 4, because they got so many occultic shit in there. Whoever made that game, that nigga's an occultist. That nigga must be a Knights Templar or something. You feel me? So, other Christian leaders who have managed to live in prosperity, they either practice pagan magic on the low, or they either practice light magic. Meaning, light magic from actually the heart space. Because that's really all Christ is living through the heart space. So, I will occasionally do meet Christians, and if I was to explain this information to them, they get it. That's how I know, okay, nigga, you might be worshiping a fucked up God, but at least you got the ability to break it if you choose. Let me just say, they got a little bit more power than those who don't actually operate out of their heart space, and they're just the food for that entity. So the Christians that don't actually operate in the heart space, they the ones that act like they go to church every Sunday, act like, you know, hallelujah, thank Jesus, all that shit, okay? But then they go outside the church and they be doing the same bullshit. They be fucking drinking, smoking, cussing, thinking thoughts that they know they shouldn't be thinking, and they be okay with it. And then they go back, oh, God forgive me. Well, they don't say that out their mouths, but subconsciously. So maybe it's an exchange between them. Who knows? Maybe it's an exchange between the lower level Christians and the Christian God. Okay, so T.D. Jakes may or may not be wicked, but he is somebody who does have spiritual gifts. I can say that. I don't know that man personally. I don't be watching his shit, but I know he has psychic gifts. I've heard him speak, and I can tell he has. Same thing with Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen has psychic gifts. They'll never tell you that though. Or they can't tell their followers, yeah, I have a psychic gifts. But them niggas, especially Joel Osteen, I know Joel Osteen knows some paganism. Just a little bit. You can't tell me he don't. You can't tell me Bishop T.D. Jakes don't know a little bit of paganism. I refuse to believe that they don't. So yeah, regardless, I'm not talking about the man's character. Okay, I don't really talk about the character of people. I just talk about what they have. Now, T.D. Jakes has used his spiritual gifts to make himself wealthy. And you can't, because that's what we all should be doing. You can't be mad at that. You can't be mad at that. Oh Lord, they put you in the crazy house against your will in 2019. Oh Lord, yeah, that's why you can't be telling everybody everything, honey. I went to a couple of mental institutions too. That's just for suicide though. I had a lot of suicidal thoughts and shit. I got over it, but never doing that shit again. Does the photon band belt showering the planet right now have an impact on the magic manifestation you are describing? Yes. The photon band does have. I actually got a book on that. Ooh, I want to get up and get it because on the Pleiadian agenda. Yeah, it does. Because photons. What are photons? Photons are like light molecules. Okay, so we all know that the planet cannot exist without a sun. Any planet that has life on it cannot exist without a light source. This is what I'm saying. Like, light is not all bad. Light is it's good, but coming from the dark side views the light as bad because sometimes it can be too overgiving. But the light is actually good to have because the light actually sustains, okay? And the light protects. You can't get mad at that, okay? You can't get mad at that. So the planet has to abide by certain laws, okay? So one of those laws is a planet or life forms cannot exist without a sun. That's universal law. You can't have no life forms without some type of sun, okay? Even, I got my Kryptonian shit on, okay? Even on the planet of Krypton, where does Superman get his superpowers from? The sun. Different types of suns. That's why, like, on Krypton, Superman isn't as powerful as he is on Earth because the Earth is a different form of sun. Because there are different forms of suns now. There are different suns. Not all suns are the same. So the photon band does affect the electromagnetic field on the planet. And like I said, anything that affects the planet affects the beings on the planet. So for example, when there's a solar flare, now it might not be outright direct, but it does have an effect on the humans on this planet. So when there are solar flares on the planet, you have issues with satellites, and then certain behaviors in human beings change. Same thing with full moons. Okay, it's been proven that as it is on heaven, so it is on earth. Okay, whatever happens with the moon does affect the human being because the moon pulls on water. When there's a full, like, the moon controls the tides. And I've always said, if the moon can control the tides of the ocean, and the ocean is huge, imagine what the moon can do to a human being who is made of 70% water. It's the same thing. So, of course, the photon band affects the magic on the planet. Now, it depends on what type of magic. It depends on where you get your source of magic from. I want to make a video on that. The source of your magic is going to determine that. So, I use all types of magic. My main form of magic is sage magic. If y'all seen Naruto, what is sage, quote unquote, sage magic? Sage magic is that from the earth. Some people, now, in order to get magic from the earth, you have to be in alignment with the frequency of love. Now, a lot of people, So the people, okay, so the people who choose the darker forms of magic, they've been so hurt by love that they don't want nothing to do with it. It's human beings on the planet who want nothing to do with love. They're closed off from it because love has hurt them. So if love has hurt me, I'm going to form, I can't use sage magic because in order to use earth magic, and earth magic is supreme magic of them all. Period. I don't care. This is why, you know, the new agers call them earth angels. Earth angels, we cannot be fucked with because our magic comes from the source of the earth. And like everybody who lives on earth has to abide by its rules. I don't care. Even the Illuminati knows this. Now until your ass move to Mars or move to Mercury or any other, then okay, the rules is different. But when you're on this planet and if you try to come for an earth angel, baby, you're gonna lose every time. Because trying to attack an earth angel is trying to attack the earth. And the earth is like your tenant. Okay? The earth is your tenant. So if you try to hurt somebody who genuinely practice earth magic, aka sage magic or embodied sage magic, or they call it earth angels, you're gonna be fucked up because this person works for your tenant, aka earth. You wouldn't be standing where you are right now without the earth, period. You couldn't build your house without the earth. You couldn't drive your car without the earth. Like I keep telling y'all, if the earth decides to split itself open and then your house falls into the center, there is nothing that the government can do. There's nothing that you can do. You can pray all day long, but if the earth decides, bitch, you're gone, you're gone. So that's why, in my opinion, earth magic is the most powerful magic because you work for your landlord, and your landlord is earth, okay? So yes, it does affect your magic, but depends on what kind of magic you're doing. Okay, what kind of magic is you doing? Now, when I mean what kind of magic is you doing, some people make contracts with spirits who may not be in the frequency of Earth's frequency, although they are still allowed to reside here. Okay, they're still allowed to reside here. However, there are some people who just don't have the heart capacity to open themselves up to work with earth magic. So they go to another entity who is not in alignment with that. And then they get their magic from that entity. So it depends on what source are you getting your magic from. That's the thing. I get my source from nature. Because I appreciate earth providing for me. Some people just do not have that compassion in their heart to do that. So they go to other entities who are not in alignment with that, and that's where they get their source of power. But ultimately, yes, the photon band does affect your magic. Like I said, if you're working with an entity that's not in alignment or that's not within universe, I don't even want to say that. If it's within universal law, it's permitted. Let me just say that. So yes, it does. Okay. I've been to a couple loony bins too. Both times a powerful yet restrictive experience. Well, baby, I'm glad you got something out of it, honey. But I knew, like, okay, because I tried suicide twice, and then it wasn't until I discovered the occult, which I'm glad, because I be saying the occult saved my life, child. Like, it's like, okay, you can't, like, if you kill yourself, you're gonna have to do this shit all over again. And I might not get a vessel, and I might not get a body like this. You see how my vessel, I think I have a very nice vessel. It looks good, it's curvy, it got some mass. We could have worked on the titties a little bit, but I have a nice vessel. So I think after learning I tried to commit suicide twice, but this is before I found the occult, honey. So I'm glad you did get a good experience out of that, but yeah, it was very restrictive. I can't do restrictions. Yes, the moon's influence does matter. Like I said, if the moon can affect the ocean, the moon can also affect the human, which is also 70% water. Okay, the moon affects water. Yes. I learned and raised the dead. You raised the dead. What, you a necromancer? Shout out to my necromancers. If you are a necromancer. Y'all are funny. So yeah, I am gonna make a video on that. But I don't know what the title of the video. I was gonna make a video about how your source of magic does affect a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna give y'all a tip. Okay. I don't care who's trying to come against you. Okay. If you work with Archangel Michael, you are untouchable. Okay. Because why? It's because Archangel Michael is also an archetype of the sun. So when you research Archangel Michael, they're going to tell you that Michael is associated with certain symbols, and one of those symbols is the sun. Okay, so like I said, if you work for the sun and you work for the earth, and they favor you, and then another motherfucker who live on earth trying to do some shit to you, is not gonna work, because like I said, it's equivalent for you working for your landlord. If you do things to make sure your landlord is okay, for the most part, your landlord is going to take care of you, make sure that you're okay. It's the same thing. So now, unless you got somebody doing something, like Archangel Michael protects everything within the solar system. So as long as you are in this solar system and using him, you are safe. Now let's say you happen to travel outside the solar system and you on another planet with another sun with different planets. Archangel Michael is not going to probably be that effective. Okay. But as long as you are in the solar system, which is governed by, and like I said, our sun is a representation of many things, because you know, pagans, sun worship. Okay, some, because they understand without the sun we are nothing. I can tell people that. Without the sun, I don't think people and humans be so caught up in their everyday world. Without the sun, we are nothing. Okay, if the sun go out tomorrow, we're dying, because what happens? Most people eat meat, right? So how do those animals that they're eating get their food source to get fat so they can be eaten? They get it from the sun, because the animals eat the plants, and the plants need the sun, and plants need water. Okay, so without the sun, we'll be dead. So this is why I would rather worship things that sustain me on a regular basis than worship an entity or a god. Okay, like I said, but the other gods, they are helpful. But my main god is the planet, okay? Because without the planet, I wouldn't have a ground to stand on. I wouldn't have a house to build on. I wouldn't have a road to drive on without the earth. I like crab legs, okay? Without the sun and the earth, okay, they couldn't provide the crab with the plankton that it needs to get fattened up so I can eat it. Okay, so you have to start with that basic gratitude. Okay, and that's what humans have strayed away from. That is the ultimate form of unconditional love from the planet. I provide you with everything, but I don't get credit for nothing. Except for maybe the hippies. Like the hippies are fucking, you know, that's it. But most people don't. That's why I'm saying, like, people be like, oh, you can't be God. You're right. I can't be the almighty God. Okay. I can't, because it takes a lot of patience and unconditional love to be that. I can't be that, because the earth has been underappreciated for thousands of years. If it was me, I would have been like, y'all motherfuckers would be gone a long time ago. But I don't get to determine that. I don't get to determine that. So we'll never know why these forces choose to sustain us. We'll never know. But if it was me, after seeing people being enslaved and raped and colonized and pillaged and women burned at the stake because they were assumed to be witches, baby, I would have been burned this bitch down. Okay? And a whole bunch of, and then you got some Eastern cultures where they feel like it's okay for a 60-year-old man to marry a 14-year-old girl. Honey, I would have been burned this bitch down. But that's why I don't want that much responsibility. Like I said, when you ask for power, you gotta, all power comes with responsibility. I strive for power, especially in spiritual power, but I know the more power that you have, the more responsible that you're going to be. So like I said, I can't be spirit. I can't, like, it's only, I can't be spirit. I just don't, that requires a lot of patience, responsibility that I just don't want. Cause I done seen the shit in this world, and baby, I would have been took it out. So I think I'm done for today, y'all. Like I said, I hope this video was helpful about the extraterrestrials and the ETs. You know, they out here. Like I said, don't let the government, like I said, for y'all that just coming in, it's not, like I said, it's gonna be a time where the government gonna try to stage a alien invasion, and they gonna try to make a narrative how the aliens is attacking us. Baby, that ain't them. They don't give a fuck about us like that. I promise you. If you a 12th dimensional being, naturally you have no place to take from anybody, because you already you're already, even at the 6th dimensional consciousness, you're already aware of the fact that I don't have to take from anybody, or I don't have to conquer anything to be happy. Everything is already naturally provided for. Okay, that's that European shit, because like I said, Europeans, when they climbed up those caves, there wasn't no resources in the Caucasus Mountains. It was cold. The animals wasn't animaling. They had to eat each other and fuck each other, and sometimes fuck with the animals and shit. That's scarcity from the European mindset, because their ancestry comes from a place where they had to survive in harsh conditions. In Africa, nigga, we was chilling. The goats was goating. Okay, the trees bearing all different types of fruits. We didn't have to do all that. So I'm just giving this message, so as time progresses on, y'all can remember this, and y'all can share this, and y'all can know that yeah, them niggas lying. So extraterrestrials don't want to hurt us. If they did want to hurt us, they would have been did it by now, and there would be nothing that humans can do, because their technology is far more advanced than ours. So, and they're much more intelligent. So don't fall for the hype. The government isn't Will Smith in Independence Day. Nigga, you niggas ain't Donald, what's that nigga name? Donald Glover in Predator. The humans are not destroying no type of aliens, child. So my grandpa, I'm a grandpa in my 50s and still learning. Thank you for making it easy and fun to learn. Yeah, I try to keep it easy and fun. Like I said, a lot of people be trying to share this information and try to be all, listen, I'm going to give it to you real and raw. And if I don't know something, I don't know something. And even at age 50, you doing better than a lot of people your age. I know people at age 38 still closed-minded. And you know how hard that got to be, because at 35, the neurons lock into the mind. At 35, the neurons, like, it's really hard to change somebody's mind after age 35, because the neurons have literally, like, identified a pattern, and then they stay in that pattern. So even at age 50, you still learning, baby. That is beautiful. That's further information. That's further confirmation to let me know that my work and what I've been called to do has not been to waste. So thank you for that. So I'll probably be back on here tomorrow. Until then, y'all.